Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. I'm gonna be honest today, I can't be asked. I can't be asked to make this video. And sometimes it's like that, you know? It's not all sunshine and rainbows in this YouTube game that we play. But I'm happy you're here. Thank you for watching. I just submitted a proposal that literally took me 4 hours. What? I thought AI could just do this. Turns out you have to do a little bit of work, but it's okay, we're good. I'm here and I'm showing up to make this video for you. Disclaimer, before this video, disclaimer. I haven't worked with any solar companies in the past. I've consulted with two, but we haven't actually gone on to formulate a contract and have a formal partnership moving forward. So maybe someone will watch this video and want to do that. If you're a solar company, let me know. I would love to work with you. But in this video, we're gonna build a cool lead magnet automation thing for solar companies using a free or very cheap solar API that basically can calculate where the sun is in the sky from your latitude and longitude of like your house, right? Or of your palace in Monaco, wherever you live. And then it can tell you how much sunlight, how many watt hours of sunlight you're gonna be getting per month, basically, all throughout the year. And then you can use those numbers based on your, and calculate that using your local electricity price to determine how much you can save with solar. So I'm going to be building this for a solar company. Then they can maybe put it on their website and it might be really dope. So we'll see. Let's get into the video. Okay. All right. So all the usual suspects are out for this video. We have Rapid API. If you don't know what Rapid API is, you can basically get access to all these cool APIs that give you a bunch of data that you can plug into your application. It's very cool. If you don't know what an API is, go ask ChatGPT right now, because if you're into programming, you really need to know what it is. And then we have Tally. Love Tally. One of the best forms, in my opinion. It's amazing, free for a lot of people. I know cost is an issue for many, and rightfully so. Tally, incredible. Would highly recommend. It's free. We have ChatGPT and N8N, the ultimate stack for any builder. So, okay, let's get into it. So basically, the flow is going to be Tally form first that they can like embed on their website, right? So if I go to edit here, this is the Tally form I've created. Dead simple. The solar lead magnet. What's your full name? What's your email? What's your phone number? What is your estimated budget for solar? And then what is your address? What is your house address? Publish that. Okay, easy. What's your house address? That's it. Dead simple, guys, right? So this is a form that's going to be linked to our N8N. So in N8N, so build the form, right? Dead simple. Took me like 2 minutes. Then we go over to N8N and we have our webhook. That's the first flow. The reason we're using a webhook is because they actually don't have a Tally trigger. So that's something from N8N, but easily done with the webhook. Webhook is going to catch our form submission and send the data, as in every answer to the question on our form, into our N8N flow. Okay, so if we go back to Tally, click on this little lightning bolt integrations right here. You can see webhooks, click connect, and then it's gonna ask for you to paste in an endpoint URL. So where we can find that nice little endpoint URL is right in here. We're gonna grab our test URL, grab that, and then come on back over here, copy that in, hit connect, and then now you can see the little green dots connected. Super easy. Now we're done with that. So now this is listening for a little event. So if we click listen to test event right here, and I go back to here and I fill out our form, and submit on our form, we go back into N8N, we can see that the node executed successfully, and we have all the information I put in, the address, budget, phone number, all the stuff we need. So one thing I just realized is that if you were building this for an actual solar company, they would obviously have the budget to pay for like a geocoding API. Google has one. There's some other ones out there. Basically, geocoding is when you turn an address into latitude and longitude coordinates, which is what our API takes in as query parameters. You can see our query parameters from our API right here. By the way, the API we're going to use, it's called Solar Potential API by API Verve. And it's great. This is one we're going to want to use. So making a rapid API account, subscribe to this. Basic is $0 a month, and you get 50 requests a month. It's awesome. And then the pro is $13 a month and you get 20,000. Pretty crazy. So we're going to just click start the free plan, click subscribe, get started, done, boom. So yeah, as I said, the parameters are latitude and longitude. So that doesn't work for us because we don't want to use the geocoding API for the sake of this video. Everyone who's building this at home, I want it to be as functional, as easy as possible. But if you are building this and you are selling this to a solar company, you're going to want to invest in a geocoding API and explain that in your proposal, how you need that to do this functionally or seamlessly, because nobody wants to go through what's my latitude and longitude. I mean, it's easy to find, right? If you go on Google Maps. So I picked the Royal BC Museum. This is the place we're going to use for this test here. If you right click on it, you can literally see the latitude and longitude right there. Like it's pretty simple. So then we're actually just going to edit our form quickly here. Latitude, and then add a short answer right here. And we're just going to say, what is your house longitude? Longitude, right? That's how you spell that. So that's super easy. So if you paste, or no, we don't want that. We'll just publish that. That's fine for now. So then if we go back on over to here and refresh, then we can see all the stuff. So let's see. What's your estimated budget? 60K. What is your house latitude? If we go back here, go like this, click on this, copy to clipboard, go back here, paste that in here. Oh, no, that's the wrong one. Paste that in here. Then this is the latitude. And then you can just remove, or you can delete this. And then this is going to be our longitude. Paste that into here and then delete this. So that is exactly what it's going to be. So we're not going to submit this yet, but we're just going to keep that there. So that's how we want to set up our form. Subscribe to the API. Going over to code snippets, and you're going to see that the target is HTTP. That's what we want here. That's how we're going to communicate with this API. Then this is going to be the thingamabob we're using here. You know what I mean? The thing. So this is going to be our GET request right here. So I want to do this, copy this, then come back on over to, what's it called? N8N. Going over to here. We're going to make an HTTP request as our next node. So guys, a really handy trick that I use all the time when making HTTP requests. It's very simple to go through here and just kind of add your keys, add your host, make a call to this URL with the HTTP before that. So N8N understands that that is a full URL. And then you just drag and drop in your variables that you want to call. It's quite simple. But what I like to do is I like to copy and paste this whole thing into ChatGPT. And then I can say, turn this into a curl format, and it will add the curl with the -h for header, and then add our key, and then -h, and then add our host, right? Copy this, come back into N8N, click import curl, and then just paste in whatever ChatGPT gave you for any API that you're working with, and it will auto-populate the URL, the method, the query parameters, and the headers. And it's amazing. And it's done just like that. We're all about efficiency around here. Then you can see in these query parameters, we have latitude, and then we're just going to execute the webhook, submit our form. So we have the data active, and we have our latitude. We're going to have our latitude, drag this right in here, and our longitude, and drag that in. Boom. And then you can see once we've executed these latitude and longitude, or sorry, what am I saying? Once we've executed our HTTP request and actually gotten our data, we can see that we have the best direction is south for solar, average daily usable sunlight hours, yearly usable sunlight hours, raw, and then adjusted. So 1,117 sunlight hours. Pretty cool. Super cool. Cloud factor 0.25. Yeah, pretty interesting. Oh, this is the latitude and longitude for the Royal BC Museum. Like I said, that's the place we're using here, right? So then once we have that in here and we know that our webhook and HTTP requests are working successfully, we can hit save. Always a good thing to do is rename and just be like get sunlight estimate, right? Webhook, grab our data. Pretty simple, right? So next steps we want to do is we want to actually add an AI node. AI, and it can just be a message AI. It's not always about assistants, guys, or agents. You don't always need an AI agent for everything. It's just going to be message a model, make a connection to your account, then the model list we're going to choose from. Oh, their naming conventions are just so bad, aren't they? Oh, it looks gross. It's just 4.0. The prompt is going to be, so basically all I'm going to say is here is the adjusted yearly usable sunlight hours, right? And I'm just going to drag that in here. And guys, again, you can use Perplexity if you want like really accurate watt hour estimates and like actual cost estimates for this. But you can then be like, I need you to give me an estimate. And then I'll say you are to output installing solar panels on, oh my God, I can't type, on their home. Yeah, done, boom, so easy. Okay, save, done, save, and then the next step is just going to be Gmail node. Send a message, and then we're going to have text to the previous nodes to get data. It's just going to be text. The message is going to be what OpenAI gives us. The email is going to be the email that we got from the webhook from the person. And then they'll get an email once they fill out the form. Am I still recording? Nice. Once they fill out the form on the company website, they'll get an email and it'll be like, yo, Eli, you can save this much money per year based off local prices. And again, that's why we aren't using Perplexity, guys, because Perplexity's better in this use case for sure, because it can write a simple customer email, simple friendly email. It can easily do that. And it can get the most accurate electricity prices, whereas OpenAI has a cutoff in knowledge, right? So that's the one thing there. So Perplexity is probably better. We're just going to use OpenAI. And you could even give OpenAI like the current rates, right? You can just drop that right in. But again, this is simple. This is an MVP or a minimum viable product. In my opinion, it's always best to build the MVP first, and then you can iterate accordingly, right? So that's the prompt. Then the message, or this is going to be the system prompt. And then the user prompt is just going to be output my email for me. Done. Boom. Does this have stuff in it? Wait, what's happening? Can I just, dude, why can't I just say like, will that resolve it? Okay, cool. That resolved it. We're going to refresh this page, submit all the same stuff that we had before. Budget 30K. What is your latitude, longitude? Submit. Go right here. Executing, it's getting the sunlight. OpenAI is crafting the message. And then once we get to Gmail, we can actually add the proper expressions, proper variables, aka email and the message it created. So the message is going to be this, and we can remove this J right here. Let's see what this says. Finds you well and thriving. That's terrible. 59 kilowatts of electricity per kilowatt installed each year in regions like ours. With beach houses currently it's around per kilowatt hour, every kilowatt of solar panels you install could save you approximately $161.25 annually in electricity costs. Okay, cool. Then what we need to do is actually give OpenAI the correct stuff here, right? Like, as in like their name, because yeah, like pretty brutal if it's not saying their name in it and we have to hard code that because that's just lame. So what am I doing here? What is your email? This is going to be who it's to. The subject is thanks for showing interest in solar. Name. I don't want to split that. I don't want to split that text. I'll just do that. Okay, cool. Then that's the message. So that's totally good for now. Hit save. Then we need to give OpenAI, since now we have all the good data. Happy Solar Co. It's a sick name. That's a great name. Happy Solar Co. So now let's just run this back, submit this form. Again, this may not be the cleanest way to do this, but it's just takes 2 seconds. Boom, Tally like saves your responses. So you can just really like fly through this workflow. Super easy. And now we should actually be getting an email. So now let me pull out my inbox and let's check out the email. So here's the email, guys. Hope this email finds you well and full of sunshine. Thank you for reaching out. And see the subject, shine brighter with solar savings. Eli, super awesome. Happy Solar Co. Find out how much you can generate. Based on the available hours of sunlight your area receives annually, and right, that just calculates that using the API. Super easy. This translates to saving approximately $120 on your electrical bill annually based on every kilowatt hour you install, of course. So then, of course, you can go into detail and you'd be like, what's the rough square footage of your roof? And then you could be like, okay, based on their budget that they've entered into the form, divide that by the average cost of a, kind of state-of-the-art common solar panel that somebody would get installed. And then you can calculate the exact amount of electricity that they could save or very close to it, right? But I hope this is kind of showing you guys what's possible here, right? Pretty cool, in my opinion. Pretty cool, pretty fucking cool. There it is, guys. There's the video. There's the workflow. I hope you enjoyed. I hope now you can reach out to solar companies and sell this, or just get your NA down skills up and practice with this fairly simple automation that anyone can build. So with all due sincerity, guys, hope you enjoyed the video. My foot's still up on the desk. I've had fun with this video. I've had a lot more fun than I thought I would. Because again, as I said, I was just like pooped out after doing that proposal. Didn't want to do this video, but I'm trying to be more consistent on YouTube. And the views have kind of dropped off a little bit. I think that's because I was honestly kind of going for a bit more like viral, quote unquote, content with like the UMax app and like the more coding stuff. But my channel and where my passions lie really are in that low code, no code space that's accessible to more people and really shining light on this. And of course, building software, that'll never stop. And I still do that, just not on YouTube. And the videos, I'll still have videos on that, but I think you guys know what I'm trying to say. I've kind of found what brings me more joy and what's more fun to me. So views don't matter at the end of the day. It's about staying consistent. Just remember that. So thank you for watching, everyone. We'll catch you in the next one.